Welcome in. We are live Friday evening, 9 p.m. Getting ready for the Super Bowl. Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. Hopefully, they're going to end up in their run it back campaign on top as champions once again this season, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the one and only Tom Brady. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here tonight. If you're on YouTube watching us live, go ahead and hit that like button and please subscribe. We've got a giveaway going on today. We'll do that later on in the podcast, but we did say we'd need to hit that 30 subscriptions, so still need a couple more there as we go live here. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you would. This helps us be seen as other people are searching. If you're in the chat, please join us in the chat. Go ahead and throw those hot takes out there. And if you're listening after the fact on Apple, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, please do subscribe and leave a 5-star review. And for tonight, we've got some new software. You may have already seen it with the countdown. Pretty excited about this stuff. But we also have t-shirt giveaway. We've got to run our randoms for our squares. We've got some Super Bowl bets for you and also some DFS. So grab yourself a cold one, settle in, and let's get this thing started. Hot takes are already coming in on the chats. Hello to all of you as well. Chiefs by 14. As Lucas gets us kicked off with the hot takes, Chiefs by 14. I'm not far behind you there. I'll tell you a little bit later on what my pick for it is. All right, as everybody's as you all are trickling in here, I want to know, what is your favorite Super Bowl bet? What's your favorite bet for the Super Bowl? Is it a spread? Is it a total? Is it a prop bet, player props, team props? What's your favorite bet? Where are you going to put your money? Or even if you're not even actually throwing the money down, what's just your favorite bet you've ever heard? Is it the coin flip? Is it is the national anthem going to go over? I think the over-under is like almost 2 minutes at this point. So what's your favorite bet? Throw it in there. And as you all talk about that or chat about that, I want to tell you a little bit about Reds playoff pick'ems. It's ended. We have finished up there. I just want a huge shout out. Thanks everybody for participating in Reds playoff pick'em. This is our first year we ever did it. Oh, that was interesting. This is our first year we ever did it. So thank you all for joining. Huge shout out to Herbie and the Lou as he goes 4 for 4 on Championship Sunday to secure the victory. Everybody's trying to pick opposite of him. Like, where's he going to go? They try to be contrarian. He just goes out there and hits all 4 of them and wins it. So good for him there. Want a huge shout out to SM Auto Detailing for sponsoring the Reds playoff pick'ems this year. You can go to smautodetailing.com for your free quote today. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Sam does great interior and exterior work on your vehicle, detailing your vehicles. That's smautodetailing.com. Make sure you tell them that Trevor sent you. All right, let's check on those bets. What do you guys have? What do you guys have going on with your bets of the Super Bowl here? Right here, this is my favorite one. Over under nipple slippage during the halftime show. What do you guys think? Let's go over, right? We got to take the over. Can we get 2 this year? I love Mahomes rushing prop, 18.5 yards. Man, Mahomes can go off for a little 20, 25-yard scamper. The reason, not the reason Mahomes is in the Super Bowl and not Aaron Rodgers, but the reason Aaron Rodgers isn't in the Super Bowl because he shied away from that opportunity to run it 10, 15 yards into the end zone. Talk a little bit about that here, but Mahomes rushing prop 18 over. I assume you're going, over is rushing prop 18.5. Orange Gatorade. See some red Gatorade. Chiefs had orange Gatorade last year. So there's a lot of people, those real grinders, those people who are really in the weeds of this stuff, they're saying orange Gatorade as well. And apparently it's a pretty good odds. So you get good money's worth there. The Weeknd is the halftime show. That's okay, Trent. We didn't say what kind of nipples slippage, right? We just said nipples, right? Why not? It's Friday night. We're here to play. All right, as we go through this, if you've got hot takes, go ahead. Throw them in there. If you've got cold takes, we'll take those too. I'm going to go through some matchups, talk about running back, what running back you should be playing from each team, the quarterbacks, all of the wide receivers. There's a lot of pass catchers in this game that we're going to like today. But we're just going to go through. We'll talk some DFS here a little bit. We'll start out with my bets that I like. I'm going to give them to you right now. If you've got questions, you want me to answer something, throw it in the chat. I'll answer something as well. But let's dive into the game itself and some bets. Super Bowl 55. Kansas City Chiefs, our hometown Chiefs, our beloved Chiefs, 30-point implied total versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a 26.5 implied total. The line is still where I see it and where I go to is still at minus 3.5 for the Chiefs. I've heard places at minus 3. That would be awesome. I'd love to take minus 3. I've already gone ahead and laid minus 3.5 for the Chiefs. Over under sitting at 56.5. Today's betting segments brought to you by Gunsmoke GSPS. Go ahead and follow their story on Facebook, on Instagram at Gunsmoke GSPS. Oh, I missed this prop bet before. Before I get into my prop bets, DK, shout out to you, DK. I don't know if this is your first time in. I believe this is your first time chatting with us. Thanks for joining us here. He says, total players to attempt to pass over 2.5. Well, obviously, we know 2 of them will do it. So you're essentially saying, yeah, I think someone's going to run a trick play. Antonio Brown around the outside, throw it to like an Evans or somebody. I don't see the Chiefs doing as much as maybe the Buccaneers could do. But I could see maybe an Antonio Brown throwing something there. But hey, who knows? Andy Reid has 2 weeks to get ready for it. Maybe he has something up his sleeve. I already told you about the 3.5 for the Chiefs. I've already laid that. That's where I like there. I got it early in the week at minus 105. So I'm happy about the juice I'm getting on that bet. For the total, it's a 56.5 total. I'm going to take the under. If this game gets to 57, it would be the second highest Super Bowl, I believe, of all time, if not at least the last couple decades. It just doesn't get that high in the Super Bowl when these two teams are battling it out. It could get a shootout. It could easily get into 60 points. I don't believe Tom Brady has it in him. There's a lot of, for me anyways, I believe the Buccaneers are here for a lot of other reasons other than Tom Brady, not to try to take something away from him, but, their defense put them inside the 20 and inside the 10 multiple times in the New Orleans and Green Bay games, just really helped them out a lot. And where Tom Brady wasn't having to make. Therefore, I don't think that they're going to, I don't think that they're going to be able to put up all the points that you would need for this game to get into the 60s. So I'm going to take the under. And I'll let you know here, this is where I think the Chiefs are going to win this game 31-20. That's kind of where I've landed on everything. And you'll hear that a couple times, especially my first game prop bet I'm going to tell you here in a minute. But before you get there, Chiefs money line and the under, it's a nice plus 203 payout. So if you like little parlays, I think that's a nice parlay to throw together there. Couple prop bets that I find interesting that I'd really like. The first one, Chiefs winning margin 7 to 12 points. I don't believe the Chiefs go blow this team out. Could that happen? Yes. I think that they blow this team out before they lose the game. I'm trying to take my bias out of it. You see the jerseys, though. It's hard to take all the bias out of it. But I don't think they're going to blow them out. I think it'll stay at least close enough to make it interesting. But we're going to go Chiefs. I really like this. Chiefs winning margin 7 to 12 points, and it pays out plus 450. I think that's what I like the most about it. Plus 450. Another prop bet I like, Kelce first half touchdown is at plus 155. I think he's going to get one at least. Usually, the safe bet, right, is like one of the first ones they get just to kind of go safe. They don't get tricky or weird around the goal line too early in the games, which I think that maybe that's where he could get it. But also they like that little underneath shovel pass to him. I think that this first half touchdown, I like it at plus 155. It's one of my favorite Kelce or Hill bets just because most of their bets are there's not a lot of money to be made. Here you get a little bit at plus 155. Mark, Mecole Hardman over 30.5 receiving yards. It doesn't take much for Mecole Hardman to get 30.5 receiving yards. I'm taking that plus 120. I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will try to do anything they can to slow and I think that because of that, Mecole Hardman will have a little bit of extra run. I'll take him over 30.5 receiving yards. Two more props I like here. One is a game prop. It's total combined rushing yards for both teams under 189.5 rushing yards. It's only paying out minus 115, but I don't see a lot of rushing in this game. The Chiefs are not going to be able to run against this Buccaneers front, and the Buccaneers are not going to be able to run after their maybe first series, mainly because they'll probably be behind. They're probably going to have to abandon that run game. And then my other favorite player prop is a Mike Evans anytime touchdown. He's Mike Evans. I think he's going to get a touchdown. There's not much else I can say about him. It's sitting at plus 130. You guys have other prop bets? Chiefs to score in every quarter, plus 120. Feels like easy money, doesn't it? Over under 5 commercials featuring a dog. I like that one. I don't know the answer, but I like it. All right, let's do some squares. I know a lot of you guys are here. Thank you for joining our squares competition this year, and appreciate you joining us today. I know that's what some of you are here for. I hope you stick around and hear about some DFS afterwards as well. But if not, I appreciate you being here for the first 15 minutes of this. But let's do some squares here as I get it pulled up. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got bring this in. Don't look at my FanDuel stuff yet. All right, I've got a dice and I've got our lists. So I'm going to roll the dice. Whatever the dice lands on, that's how many times we're going to hit randomize with the list. 0 to 9. There's 10 numbers on there. We're going to do the Chiefs across the top first. So we'll go here so everybody can see it. We'll do this top one first. We'll go Chiefs across the top. Left to right will be top to bottom once this list runs. Whatever this top number is, it's going to be the first number top left here. And we'll run it. So I'm going to hit the dice. And dice rolls at 8. So we're going to hit the random 8 times here. What's your favorite square number to get? 7700. All right, we're at 5 here. We're going 8, 6, 7, and last time will be 8. So here we go. 5, 6, 8, 1. I'll just do this real quick while we're here. What's your favorite square number to get? Last year, 00 won 2 different quarters. The year before that, I don't remember. It was a weird number, but won 3/4. She won like $550. It was pretty awesome for her. 340, it looks like. And I'll keep this up. So after I'm done being live and showing you all this, I'll double check it, but it should still be the same there. Show you one more time. So 568-134-0792. So if you're listening on podcast afterwards, that's the way we went. So now we need to go the other way. And this will go up and down our columns. Let's see what we got. Who's in the 7 column? 0, 7 right beside each other here. Didn't realize that. 0, 7 right here. Be nice. Oh, I've got a 0 in there. Don't hate that. Where's the 1s? 1's always a good one too. And 3s, I feel like, are always the good ones. Nobody wants the 9-9. So I'm in line for 9-9. We'll see if that happens. All right, let's go to random. We'll roll the dice one more time. This time we go 5. So we're going 5 here. 5 times. And then we'll have our squares. Five times. All right. 1, 7, 8, 2. Oh, that's not it. 1, 7, 8, 2. 6, 4, 5, 3, 9, 0. All right, who got the 0-0 this year? Mickey. Mickey sitting at the 0-0. That's one won a lot last year. 1-0, Chris. That's not bad. 1-1, Schulte. Who's got 7-7? Paul Herbert. Herbie and the Lou, you out there tonight? Dad's got 7-7. It could be 7-7 at the end of the first. What about 10-7? 10-7. I'm going 10-7 into the first. Chiefs leading. That'd be Keaton. Keaton would have that. All right, let's get out of that here. Let's get into some more DFS stuff with you. We've got our squares done now. Thanks for joining again. Did you get a square that you liked? Did you like it? If you want to see it, if you are in squares, you can go to the spreadsheet. It's live. It's updated. All right, let's get into some DFS stuff. So we're going to do, obviously it's a single game build. It's showdown slate. If you're on DraftKings, they call it showdown slate. And there's 6 players that you pick. If you're on FanDuel, you're playing 5. It's showdown slate. The one main difference between FanDuel and DraftKings is FanDuel, when you play an MVP, it doesn't cost you more money. So in DraftKings, when you play an MVP, the salary raises as well. You get 1.5 the points in that MVP or captain slot. You're getting 1.5 points. Well, so it costs you more money on DraftKings. I always play FanDuel, so I usually talk FanDuel stuff here with you guys. And so when we're building this single game lineup, we'll have 1 MVP. The salary won't change for that player. And then we'll have 4 flex players, 5 players total. Doesn't matter. The only real rule is we have to play at least 1 player from both sides. So we can't just play 5 Buccaneers or 5 Chiefs. We must play at least 4 or at least 1. So it's a 4-1 build. So as I get started here, knowing this MVP, knowing we're getting 1.5 points, what non-quarterback do you want in the MVP slot? Hit us up in the chat. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit us up in the chat. What non-quarterback do you want in the MVP slot for Sunday's game? I pulled it up on Twitter as well. Ran a couple polls on Twitter this week. On Twitter, they said Kelsey and Hill were the highest. Evans got a little bit of run, but Kelsey and Hill were the most popular. Not surprised there. We'll see what you guys say in the chat too. There it goes. Grandpa coming in with the high school updates here. 79-17. Listen, I don't want to get too off track here, okay? But 79-17 is not 99-50. And some of us were on a basketball team who scored 99 points. So shout out, what was that? 2008. We still hold that 99. I've never seen them be there since. So I'm happy to hear they're still doing well this year. I know that they're like ranked 3rd or 4th in the state right now. All right, got a Chris Godwin out there. Again, who do you like as a non-quarterback MVP for this game? Let's take a look at those quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, 16,500, easily the most expensive player on the slate, but I still think he's a lock. I think you really need to put him in there, and I think really what your main question here is going to be, are you going to play him at MVP, or are you going to use somebody else in the MVP? That's really going to be your biggest question. He's going to be the most popular player. He's going to be the most popular MVP. I don't see really a lot of scenarios where you build a lineup and tell a story that doesn't include Patrick Mahomes on Sunday. I think he's a lock. He needs to be in all of your lineups, unless you're running out 150 lineups, which my guess is most people who are following me at this point are not doing that. So you probably ought to have Mahomes in your lineup. Brady on the other side, 1,500. I'm really fading Tom Brady this week, and he's the second highest player on the slate, $1,500. And I said it before, like Tampa Bay is not in the Super Bowl because of Tom Brady necessarily. They're not riding this huge stats, big arm. We don't expect him to go out and score, throw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Chiefs. That's just not going to happen. That's just not Tom Brady's game. And so to pay $1,500, to me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. I'm going to build 6, 7, 8 lineups. I'll probably throw one just to be different, because the rest of them will most likely all have Hill, Kelsey, and Mahomes. So I'll probably play one. And really for me, I'm not sure if I want to do like a Bucks onslaught, just a 4-1 build, or do I just play both quarterbacks, or did I get Tom Brady in one of those other Chiefs stacks? And that'll be difficult, but again, I don't think Tom Brady's going to have the volume. I think for Tampa Bay, it's really going to be, we need to hone in on those pass catchers and find the right one of them in order to win some money on Sunday. Kelsey all day as a non-quarterback MVP, and I agree. It's weird because you usually don't play tight ends in Showdown, but we know Kelsey's not a tight end. He's a tight end, but he's practically a wide receiver just with the tight end player stamp. So, we'll talk about Kelsey here in a little bit as well, but I can get on board with that. We'll move on to running backs here with the Chiefs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, $10,000. He just had 8 touches against the Bills. He does capitalize with that touchdown. I didn't really like the amount of usage he has, and now he comes in at $10K. I think it's a little bit high for him, and I'm actually quite surprised it's this high, knowing where Darrell Williams and Ronald Jones are. I was a little surprised Clyde is this much higher. Speaking of Darrell, he's at 9,000, and so that's where I went last week. I went a lot of D Williams last week, or championship round week, and it worked out pretty well. Probably, it wasn't the absolute best plays, but it worked out well, and you could still win some money with him in your lineups. 14 touches against Buffalo, and to me, still the stronger running back. He just looks like the stronger running back. Now, I don't know that means he's going to be the best running back in this game on Sunday, for 2 reasons. I think that Clyde could potentially get most of the run. One, he's now like 5 or 6 weeks removed from that injury, and 2 more weeks on top of, the last time they played. So he's had plenty of extra time to get healthy. And the second is, it's the Super Bowl. I don't know that Andy Reid would take this stance, but they did draft this guy in the first round overall. Like, they could utilize him in the first round or the most, just because they drafted him in the first round. I don't know that it's going to happen. I'm not putting my foot down or making some kind of stance to that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that does come about a little bit there. For me, right now, if I'm building a lineup, I'm taking but ultimately, most likely I won't have any of either one of these guys. I don't really like the running game for the Chiefs. So I want to tell you 1 versus 1, and that's what I did, Clyde versus Darrell. But at the end of the day, I don't really want either one of these guys. This Bucs defense is serious, and they're for real against the run game. And Andy Reid's not going to jam the run game 25 times. I don't believe that's going to happen. They don't need to do that. For me, from what I've seen, I've seen the passing game is just going to be there. He'll put up how many yards against this team? Last 270, maybe 200 and something. It was a stupid amount. Against this pass defense, the pass defense is 24th in the league. Why try to go run the ball against the number 1 run defense when you have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill? They just don't need to run the ball. Therefore, I'm going to try to avoid these guys in DFS. One other point here, and I firmly believe I wrote down, if you're trying to get really contrarian, or maybe you are fading the Chiefs a little bit, maybe you're not playing Mahomes in a lineup, that I think could be a place that you're playing Clyde, because 2 reasons. One, I think Clyde's the ultimate leverage play because he's more expensive than Williams. He's more expensive than Ronald Jones. He's in that dead zone of 10,000. So he's not up there with the top price guys, but he's also not that punt guy. He's in this weird dead zone at 10,000 on FanDuel, and not very many people are going to go there, because that means you can't get 3 of the top guys if you're going to go to Clyde as well. So nobody's going to go there. He's the ultimate leverage play. And again, you're essentially saying Mahomes isn't going to throw for 3 touchdowns. Instead, Clyde's going to get 2 on the ground. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just not necessarily something I'm going to be chasing. For the Bucs, Fournette, 12-5. And you guys have followed me. Most of you have followed me all season long. I'm not a big put my foot down stance, hot take, opinion. This is the only way it is. I don't do that a lot. I try to keep everything kind of more real and understand most sides of everything. I'm putting my foot down. I will not be playing any Leonard Fournette this week. 12,500 on FanDuel. That's ridiculous for a guy who's potentially going to be splitting carries. Nobody knows what he's going to be doing with Ronald Jones. No way am I going to be spending that much money on my salary for Leonard Fournette. 12 for 55, 1 touchdown, 5 catches for 19 yards in the championship game. In round 2, he gets more carries, he had more carries and more yards in round 2 than he did in round 3 in the championship game. Ronald Jones' first game back from his injury was in round 2. Leonard Fournette had more opportunities in round 2 than he had in round 3. To me, that's a trend. I know it's only 1 game, but it's a trend because Ronald Jones eased his way back in the first game, was even more involved in the second game. At 12,500 to split carries, I don't want it. And that's exactly what I believe he's going to do. I don't foresee him getting 17 carries or 17 touches. I just don't see it. And if I remember right, one of those touchdowns was that one touchdown was 15-yard, maybe 12-yard. and it was like his second longest run of his career over the last 3 or 4 years. No, I'm not going to play Leonard Fournette, and I don't think that you should either because of that price point. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are both cheaper than Leonard Fournette. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have a pass catcher of Chris Godwin or Mike Evans, or would you rather have Leonard Fournette? 12 carries, 55 yards. That's what he got. He had a 12-yard touchdown. You take the 12-yard touchdown away, I understand it's all relevant to fantasy, but you take that one 12-yard touchdown away, and you're looking at 11 carries, 43 yards, 4 points, not for 12.5. No way. Ronald Jones, 8,000. He's a different story to me. There's 2 reasons why I like Ronald Jones a lot better. One is salary, $4,500 cheaper. He's nearly in the punt zone, which I called 7,500 down and 7,500 and below. He's nearly in the punt zone. He had 10 carries in the championship round, 13 carries in the second round, and I believe that although he had less carries the third round than the second round, I think that it's just showing you he's going to get double digits. He's going to get double-digit carries. Fournette, 12 carries. Ronald Jones, 10 carries. Fournette, 12,500. Ronald Jones, 8,000. The only thing Leonard Fournette has over Ronald Jones is the passing game, which is real. I understand. But FanDuel is only half-point PPR, so he's not going out there and getting 5 catches and adding 5 points to your team. That's in DraftKings, it's a little different because it is a full-point PPR. But in FanDuel, it's just half-point PPR. So what if he goes out and catches 5 times? Fournette. For 20 yards, it's not doing a whole lot for you and your team except for wasting $12,500. So I'll play Ronald Jones for the salary. And I also play Ronald Jones if in the situation, if I'm building a lineup saying that the Buccaneers will kind of slow the Chiefs down a little bit, one way they'll do that, and they'll at least try to do that, is through the running game. And I could see a scenario where Ronald Jones gets 10, 12 rushing attempts in the first half to try to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, and maybe he turns that into 80 yards and a touchdown. That's possible. The run defense for the Chiefs is where you beat them at. You don't necessarily go throw against this defense. The secondary is not the best in the league, but they're good enough. Whereas the run defense is a little bit weaker. So you're going to try to run against them. Now, neither one of them is going to dominate the carries. Neither one of them are going to run 20 attempts or anything like that. Like we're going to make sure that, or they're going to make sure they're splitting the times. So if that's the case, I'm going to pay $4,000 less. I'm going to get a guy that could potentially score a touchdown in Ronald Jones. He's going to get the same amount of rushing attempts as Leonard Fournette, and we'll see. I'll stop driving that point home. For my lineups, I might make 1 or 2 with the Ronald Jones in it. I probably still won't use a lot of them. I'll probably mostly use their tight ends, Mike Evans or maybe a Suckup or a Scotty Miller. But I might use 1 or 2 Ronald Jones, and if I did, it'd be like a 3-2. I'll stack Ronald Jones with a Mike Evans or Ronald Jones with a Suckup. I'm not going to put Ronald Jones with a tight end, and I'm Godwin potentially, but I like Evans most, so I'll be using way more Evans. All right, in the chat, we got to get you guys going here again, all right? Hopefully you're still here with us. Thank you for joining us. Hit that like button. Let me see, where are we at with likes? Did we hit our subscription run? Did we get 30 subscriptions? If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button there. Hit the like button. 8 likes. Thank you. Appreciate that. Lost you guys for a moment. Sorry about that. Here we go. What cheap wide receiver do you like best when you're building a lineup this week? Sammy Watkins I don't know if he's going to play or not, but he's on the list at 7,500. Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle for the Chiefs. They're all under 7,500. Then you got Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson on the Bucs side under 7,500. I kept the tight ends out of this one, but who do you like out of these guys? Out of these cheap guys, who do you like the best? I'll pull up my poll on Twitter here. On Twitter, it was mostly Watkins and Hardman. There was no Pringle, no Robinson. Mostly Watkins and Hardman. And I haven't seen a lot of good by Watkins today. A lot of good news. He might be back. He might play. I'm a little bit worried about him. But I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the cheapest wide receiver here: Hardman, Watkins, Robinson, Pringle, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson. While you guys catch up on the chats on that, I am going to talk about the expensive guys. Travis Kelce, 14.5. Tyreek Hill at 14. Chris Godwin at 12K. Oh, gosh. And Mike Evans at 11.5. Which one? So we already talked about Kelce being the MVP that you might want to play. I think Hill is also a great MVP playing here. But can we get different? Can we get different and play Chris Godwin or Mike Evans at MVP? I mean, yes, the answer is it's a rhetorical question. We can absolutely be different by playing one of these guys. I think Mike Evans will probably be the lowest owned top tier wide receivers as the MVP. What's hard about doing that is it feels like you have to push Tom Brady. If I'm going to play Mike Evans, I have to play Tom Brady. Most of the time, I would say yes, but I'm not going to say yes in this scenario because I think you can play Mike Evans and the MVP. Expect maybe he gets both touchdowns for the Buccaneers. Right? I'm going on the 20 points. That's where I'm sitting. That's what I'm going all in at for the Bucs. That's telling me they're going to score 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, probably. That's about where I'm looking at it. And so if that's the case, if that's the story I'm telling myself, can Mike Evans get both of those touchdowns? Absolutely. He is their touchdown guy. And so if you put him there, you don't necessarily have to play Brady at $1,500 with 2 touchdowns, maybe 200 yards passing. It doesn't mean he's a smash play or he's a forced play. So you could put Evans at that MVP spot, still come back. Now you can only come back with 2 of them. You're only playing 3 of these or 2 of these guys with Mahomes or 2 of these guys with Brady. Because you can only play 3 guys 11-5 and up. You don't have to play 3, but you can only play 3. So if you do that, play Evans at MVP, which I like a little bit. Anything I'm not going to put Mahomes, Kelce, or Hill at MVP, it will be Evans at MVP. And then I can come back with Patrick Mahomes to a Kelce and maybe a Hardman, because as I'll speak about a little bit more later is Hardman and Hill. If you're not going to play Hill, you could play Hardman. It makes sense correlation wise. So that's where I'm going. Expensive pass catchers. I'm going to play a lot of Hill, a lot of Kelce. I'm going to play a lot of Mahomes, Hill, Kelce. Everybody is. Everybody's going to play that. And here, it makes sense, right? Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs so far this year, 50 of 68, 580 yards and 4 touchdowns. Travis Kelce has 21 catches, 277 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill has 17 catches, 282 yards. 3 of Mahomes' 4 touchdowns have gone to Travis Kelce already. And I know we saw a little bit of Chad Henne there against the Browns. And so a couple of these catches did come from, obviously the famous 4th and 1 for Hill. A couple of these catches came from Henne, but not the touchdowns. 3 touchdowns on Mahomes' 4 touchdown passes. And I think that can very easily continue because, again, Hill was the man last time. Could they key in on Hill to double team Hill, try to stop Hill? The Bucs are going to have to pick one of these guys, right? That's how you beat the Chiefs. You got to pick one of them to try to stop one of these two guys. They're not going to stop both of these guys. I wouldn't expect that anyways. So if you think they're going to key in on Hill because he's the one that kicked their ass last time, I'm going Kelce. Let's go. Put him at that MVP. Kelce's also averaging 25 points per game for the first 2 weeks. That's more than what Mahomes is averaging. Again, Mahomes is like a game and a half essentially. But that's where I would go. I think I'm going Kelce full. He's my favorite expensive pass catcher. I love Hill still. There's nothing wrong. I think Kelce will probably be a higher percentage of MVP than Hill. Either way, I don't know that it's going to be hard to pick one over the other. So if you're playing less than 10 lineups, you might try to get one of each in there. If you're only playing one lineup, all in on one lineup, and you ask my advice, I would tell you to play Kelce. I would tell you to play Kelce in the MVP and Hill and Mahomes and get different and get a little bit contrarian with your cheaper plays here. When you're building those lineups, I told you before, you're only going to play two or three of these. You can only play max three of these top guys. If you only play two, if that's you're going to come in, I'm only playing two of these guys. It does open up a lot of possibilities in that mid-range. Darrell Williams and CEH, I talked about 9 and 10,000, but there's one more guy sitting right there in the middle, and that's Antonio Brown at $9,500. And he, to me, is so interesting because he's coming off this injury. He's in this weird dead zone at salary. And I think he's a great opportunity for you to build a different type of lineup if you want to be at the very top all by yourself. He's a great opportunity to be a little bit different. And why not, If you are maybe you're going to tell yourself the story that I can go Kelce and Mahomes and fade Hill, and I'm going to bring it back with maybe I'll play Hardman maybe. And then you put AB in there. I'm not going to go there. Don't worry about that. I'm not playing him. I don't like this salary range at all. And I know that's wrong. That's probably wrong because I do believe someone in this range will be, if you look at like the $1 million lineup, right? I would never win the $1 million to never play in those lineups. But if you are in that contest, the $1 million lineup, that the best lineup you can get, it'll probably have one of these guys in there, which means you have to pick the right two top guys. And that's just something I don't think I'm willing to even take a chance on. So it's a chance to be different. I think he's going to be super, super low owned in this salary range coming off that injury. But again, you could go Kelce at MVP with Mahomes. Bring in AB. Let's build that real quick. I just want to see it with you guys. You guys can see it as well. Let's see what it looks like here. So if we went Mahomes here or Kelce at MVP, throw in Mahomes, which means we're going to play AB. That means we're only playing two top guys. If we're not going to play Hill, I think that if you don't play Hill, Hardman's definitely in play. Okay. So now we've got 12,000. And we don't need to use all of our salary. We don't need to do that. So you could get back up here. I don't mind this. A little 3-2 action. Guess you could get a third one up here. My math was a little off already. You can't get 3 Chiefs up here in the 14s, but come back with an Evans or Godwin. That's not bad. Or maybe you go full, 4 Chiefs and take a Butker or something. So Antonio Brown kind of changes things up there in the middle. Again, I don't think I really like him that much. I don't think I'm going to be playing him there. But just options for you. Just options for you. All right. So I asked you guys about your favorite cheap play, right? Watkins, Hardman, Miller, Pringle, Robinson. We got some Scotty Miller, Mecole Hardman. Calling it now. Pringle for 2 touchdowns. Well, I don't know what kind of odds you'd give me there, Tyler, but I'd take them because I don't think that's going to happen. Pringle might get 2 catches, but I don't think he's going to get 2 touchdowns. If he does, if Pringle gets 2 touchdowns, I'll send you a shirt. How about that? If you don't win the shirt here in a little while, I'll send you a shirt if Pringle gets 2 touchdowns. I think if I talked about it earlier, I still don't know if Sammy Watkins is going to play. I don't think Sammy Watkins knows if he's going to play. If he does play, I'm in on Sammy Watkins because I don't think his ownership will be very high at all. Coming down to the wire, being a game time decision, I'm not going to set any of these lineups until Sunday, probably around 3 o'clock-ish. And once those inactives really come out, same thing. Am I getting a shirt from you? What kind of shirt would I get? That's what I'm trying to figure out. No, if Sammy Watkins does play, I like him a lot here because again, I think that what a great way to be different from most of the people who have seen all the Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce action, and Mecole Hardman got the touchdown last week, and this Chiefs offense, and they just forget Sammy Watkins is out there, and he's still a good wide receiver, and he shows up. He had over 90 yards receiving last year in the Super Bowl. He shows up. So if he does play, and I'm confident that he's going to be healthy, if both of those things happen, I'm going to like Sammy Watkins as my favorite cheap play, $7,500 or cheaper. If Watkins doesn't play, I'm really big on Demarcus Robinson, $5,500. This is more of a play you want to keep, if you're going to play in a big tournament, if you're going to play a cash game this weekend, you don't have to worry about it, spend all $60,000. If you're going to play in a couple tournaments, which is what I'll play in, you want to leave some salary on the table because that all that does is make it harder for somebody else to duplicate your same lineup. And I'll talk about it here. We're going to be duplicated this week. It's just going to happen. There's not enough options here. But if you're going to get duplicated 5 times, that's a lot better than getting duplicated 25 times, right? And if you use all $60,000, it's going to be, oh gosh, you're going to get duplicated here. So sorry, I got a little distracted by the chat. Extra large state championship shirt. Oh goodness. For all of you who don't know, Tyler is he's a Conway guy. So they were kind of good back in the day. All right, let's get back to football, NFL football here. If you're going to play Tyreek Hill, I strongly suggest you don't play Mecole Hardman. If you're going to play a full 4, you're playing 4 Chiefs and just bring back 1 Bucs that you're saying, look, the Chiefs are going to just destroy them. And you're putting Mahomes in captain. So if you're going to put Mahomes in captain and you're going to play Hill, Kelce, Hardman, you're just saying these are the 3 guys that are going to get all of his touchdowns. Mahomes is going to throw 4 touchdowns. All 4 of them are going to go to a combination of these 3 guys. Okay, I'll buy it. But I'm not going to go into any of my builds thinking that way. Rather, if I'm not playing Hill, maybe I want a Kelce and Mahomes, and a Godwin or a Evans. I'm trying to get a little bit of that action. Then I'll play a Hardman, as I said earlier. If I'm going to go Hill, Kelce, Mahomes, I'm not going to play Hardman. I'll go Robinson. I just don't. Hardman and Tyreek, their skill set is so similar and the Chiefs use them in such a similar way that if one's getting his run, if Tyreek's getting what he's going to get, then Hardman's not going to get enough to get you to that winning spot. If you're going to fade Tyreek and say they're going to shut him down, and Hardman's going to get it on the other side, okay, I'll believe that. I'll run with that. But I can't. I don't like, anyways, saying that they're both going to get it at the same time. They can. They're more than capable. Both players are dynamic and phenomenal, but I don't want to play them in the same lineups there. All right, let's talk about the Bucks tight ends. We're going to talk Bucks tight ends and kickers here, and then we'll give a couple last-minute tips. And, of course, our T-shirt giveaway. Please, once again, if you haven't already, toss a like on the button. Toss a like on the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I appreciate all you guys' love that you've sent. Follow me on Twitter at Trev's Fantasy Pod, as you see on the bottom right of your screen. And let's get in this. Buccaneers tight ends, which actually changed quite a bit for me over just in the past 5 hours. Cameron Brate, 7,000. Comes down with a back injury yesterday at practice. Misses practice today, but it does sound like he will be playing on Sunday. So I was all in on Gronk this week because I thought, heck, man, Brate this playoff season, 8 catches, 149s, and a touchdown. Gronk this playoff season, 2 catches for 43 yards. So if you're just looking at the stats, you're going to play Cameron Brate $500 more as Gronk's in a 6,500. So I'm thinking it's time to play Gronk. Nobody else is going to be playing him. I've watched these Buccaneers play. Tom's still throwing to Gronk. I talked about before the championship weekend. He's still throwing to Gronk. He's just missing him. He threw to him again in the Packers game. He could have had 1, 2, 3 touchdowns this season, this playoff season. So I think with Gronk's involvement in the red zone, I do think he's a great bring back for if you're going to go Chiefs onslaught. I don't know if you can get Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill, Darrell Williams, and then come back with Gronk. I don't know if you'll have enough for that. I was going to put it in here for you real quick. But if you're going to do like a 4-1, if you're going to go onslaught with the Chiefs, I like Gronk as your only bring back. It's cheap bring back. No, you can't do it that way. But you could do a Butker instead of Williams. You can get that in. That'll probably be a pretty popular one, so just be aware of that. But Gronk's my favorite. If you're gonna bring a flyer, a cheap flyer back for the Bucks, I like Gronk the best out of all of them in that situation. One thing I wouldn't do is if you're building a 3-2 stack with the Chiefs, I would not be bringing back Gronk and Mike Evans. So to me, that's a huge no, because those guys are their touchdown guys. And when you're doing a semi-onslaught, like, hey, I'm going to go all Chiefs, but I got to bring somebody back, you don't want to bring the 2 guys with the most touchdown equity back. So it's almost similar for me. Like, I wouldn't be playing Fournette or Rojo with Gronk either. Usually don't play running backs with your tight ends unless you're the Chiefs, and it doesn't really matter. But I wouldn't be playing Evans with Gronk because if they're going to be throwing down there, I don't foresee a situation where they score enough touchdowns that they both get touchdowns or multiple touchdowns to where it works. I could see one or the other getting 2 touchdowns, but not one getting 2 touchdowns and one getting 1 touchdown. Then it doesn't work. Now you've lost all the touchdown equity that you were chasing. So I would not put Gronk and Evans. I would do a Godwin and Gronk. Godwin's the volume guy. He's the guy across the middle. If you think that Godwin's going to be, peppered with targets and then they get in close and Gronk scores, I would do that. I just wouldn't do Evans and Gronk. On the kicker side here, Butker and Suckup, they're both sitting at 8,500. So they're kind of to me, they're like the salary that it's perfect. FanDuel has set it up perfectly to where it makes it really easy to build these lineups. So if you want to use a full salary, you're going to be able to use Butker or Suckup. If you want to save the salary, you're going to go a little bit lower. But these guys are in play. They're in play. You can take 3 big dogs plus one of these two, and you can still get Watkins or Hardman at 7,500. I mean, these guys at 8,500 are absolutely in play. For me, I like Butker more than Succop because I expect the Chiefs to score more. Right? I expect them to score more. Ultimately, therefore, I want Butker, but we've known Butker to miss a kick or two, especially if it's not or if it's early in the game, so it's not as clutch. We've seen him miss a couple there, which might want you to lean Succop. I think the Buccaneers are going to score 20 points, which gives me two field goals from Succop versus 31, which gives me 1 field goal from Butker. That's just a projection, so I wouldn't necessarily live off my projections, and I definitely wouldn't gamble off my projections. So not yet anyways, right? Ultimately, for me, when it comes down to kickers, I think there's way too many weapons on both sides of this ball to play these guys. I think they're in play. I don't think that I'm playing them. I don't expect the Buccaneers to settle for field goals like the Bills did, and I don't expect the Chiefs to settle for field goals because they're playing against Tom Brady and they understand how dangerous Tom Brady can be. Therefore, I don't necessarily want to be playing either of these guys. I don't see either one of them kicking 3, 4, 5 field goals. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but that's not the way either one of these two teams operate. So I don't really want the kickers, but they are in play. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned them. All right, as I end up here in the chat, I'd like to just give us one more thing, and that's your favorite play overall. It doesn't matter. It can be your favorite play. It can be lock Mahomes, Kelsey in the MVP, bring, Chiefs onslaught, Buccaneers onslaught. Maybe you want to go Bucks 4-1. Maybe you're putting Tom in the MVP and running Evans and Gronk and Godwin. We're just going to onslaught the Bucks. What's your favorite play for Sunday with DFS? For me, my favorite play is a Chiefs 4-1. I think that's the way to go, to be a little bit different. Most people will play 3-2s, 2-3s, that's where most are going to go. I'm going to tell you, don't shy away. Don't shy away from those 4-1 builds, because that's a way to get a little bit different. If you're going to put Patrick Mahomes at the MVP slot, so is 50% of the other people, right? So how are you going to get a little bit different? Oh, I'm going to play Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill. So is everybody else. The salaries are too easy. Everybody's going to play that. Not everyone's going to put that 4th Chief out there. Not everyone's going to put Hardman or Watkins in that same build, or Demarcus Robinson. That's how you could get a little different. Bring it back with 1 Buccaneer. That's my favorite play. And when I do the 4-1, it will be with Mahomes in the MVP. Another tip, I said it earlier, you're going to be duplicated in GPPs this week. You're going to be duplicated no matter what lineup, wherever you put it. There's going to be other people probably with the same lineup as you. I say that to encourage you not to get too crazy. Don't go diving into the $5,000, the 5Ks, right? Don't go diving in to what's the guy's name? The Buccaneers. Tanner, right? Oh, I hadn't pulled up earlier. What the heck is his name? I think it's like Tanner Hudson. That sounds like a pitcher, doesn't it? Isn't there a pitcher named Tanner Hudson? There's Tanner Rourke. Is that the guy? Tanner Hudson. There it is. 2 snaps last week. Don't go diving in the 5Ks for Tanner Hudson or Anthony Sherman. Don't do that to yourself. All you're going to do is waste money, okay? I tell you that. One of these guys is going to get a touchdown. They're going to be in the Millie Maker. But don't go diving down there. You don't have to get stupid different. You don't have to get crazy today or on Sunday. You just want to be a little different. And I think for me, the way I'm going to get a little different is the 4-1s and just trying to get a little bit more action on one side or the other. I will play some 3-2s. I'll try to, I'll play maybe a Sammy Watkins if he's healthy. Maybe I'll play him in the MVP. That's going to be totally different than most people. I really like Mike Evans in the MVP because I don't see a lot of people doing that. So there's other ways you can get a little different while also playing the top guys in the game. Just don't get too crazy with it, okay? All right. That's it. Just kidding. We're going to give away a t-shirt here. Who's ready for a t-shirt? So this is what I'm going to do. So we have I checked this right before I got on here. So I had no more retweets and the deadline was when we started the stream. So we've got 21 entries. So if you're in the chat and you're entered in, give us a shout out. Let us know that you're here. You're ready to rock. I've seen a couple of you here already. So what I'm going to do, as you can see over here, everybody's, let me full screen. I won't full screen yet. Everybody's here over here and then you're in the spinny wheel. Oh, I need to show you this. Sorry. So you're all here. You're in the spinny wheel. There's a shuffle button up here. I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice one time. And that's how many times we're going to shuffle. We're only going to spin the wheel once. But the dice tells us how many times we shuffle. So we're going to shuffle it 6 times. Let me get back to our wheel. Oh. We're going to shuffle it 6 times. Hey-oh. It's a good thing I didn't say no family members could win this, right? Here's the shirt we're going for here. Okay. Rumbles of Red. Shout out Threads and More for making this happen. She did an awesome job. She took a kind of generic, some generic art that I sent her. And I asked her to put it on a t-shirt, and she did. So I appreciate all her work. Go follow her at Threads and More. I know she's on Facebook. I believe she's on Instagram as well. Follow her. So the roll of the dice was a 6. So we're going to shuffle up the names 6 times here. Okay, shuffled it 6 times. We'll go full screen for y'all. Stop looking at, you don't have to see me here. And here we go. One time, one wheel. We're about to know the winner in 1 second. Cody. Oh, my man. Cody Campfield. Hopefully you're here with us today. If not, I'll definitely let you know. Again, thank you all for joining us with that. I appreciate it. That was fun. Hopefully you like the wheel. I got to give shout outs everywhere. Everywhere on YouTube, Facebook, lives. I've seen a lot of people use the wheel. So it's too good not to use. And it's easy. So I appreciate all of you all using that or retweeting that and sharing information about the Rumbles of Red. Hopefully you guys learned something tonight. Hopefully you're ready to rock. You bring the heat for daily fantasy. You've got great bets going on Sunday. Have a great time. Be smart. You know, I was telling somebody earlier today, like last year was so exciting because it was the first time ever, right? And this year, like the excitement's real and it's super exciting, but it's a little different. Like it feels like it's expected. It's expected that the Chiefs pulled off this year. It's expected that the Chiefs win this year. I hope we don't end up disappointed. I know you hope that we don't end up disappointed as well. So let's hope the Chiefs get that win. Please continue to follow me. Follow our sponsors on Facebook at SM Auto Detailing. at Homefront CG, at Gunsmoke GSPS, at Threads and more. You can find me all over social media. On Facebook at The Rumbles of Red. You could, please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell. The bell always gives you an alert. 30 minutes before I'm live, it gives you an alert when I am live. So hit that bell if you would. Follow me on Twitter at Trev's Fantasy Pod. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, 5 stars anywhere you'd like. The offseason, I'm looking for some interviews. I hope to bring you all interviews. They may be live. They may be recorded. Hopefully we get some good interviews from other fantasy content creators in the industry. So hopefully bring that to you as well. Good luck to the final weekend of football. Find me all over social media. Follow me so you know when the future shows are. Let's win some money. Go Chiefs, baby. Let's make it happen. Take care, y'all.